welcome to the Glenwood Football Show. We're coming to you from a different location today, but we do want to send a shout out to Abby and Chase Cook at Mike and Ed's Barbecue. Go get some barbecue on 13th Street. We're coming to you live today, or we're coming to you tape delayed, excuse me. It's going to be on the campus of Glenwood School, and I'm here with Coach Ryan Nelson.
Yep. Glad to have you back, Dusty.
I'm glad. Well, you know, Chris does a great job filling in. Coach, got another win Friday night.
Yes, sir.
Sends our record to 5-3, 5-1 in the region.
Most important.
Absolutely. 49-13 win. Let's talk a little bit about that game.
Just extremely proud of our guys. You know, at the end of the day, again, you know, traveling like we have to travel or had to, always the unknown. But we came out and, you know, we did exactly what I wanted us to do early in the game. We took care of business. I think we going to halftime was 43-7. So we came out, played really well in all three phases. We had a little hiccup there in special teams with a kickoff return. But besides that, that was about the only negative I could say from the first half. Really happy with our defense coming out and setting the tone, and they're just getting better every single week. And then, you know, obviously we come out offensively, and we take the first drive down about 85 yards and score. Then we get the turnover, and then we punch another one in. So we got up 14 really quick, and then we hit a big play to Brandon McCrane. Good to see him go out, make a few plays for us. So he had two really big touchdowns for us in the first half. But again, just getting guys back healthy. I thought Ben played his best game, obviously. With him being his third game, dealing with the injury and everything, Dusty. But
Ben Graham,
he brought a lot of what I call nastiness to us up front. So he brings that to our line.
Absolutely.
So good to see that. But just extremely proud of our guys. I thought Tripp, you know, Anthony came back from a little injury he had a week before. Got back in there and played a good game. So hopefully get, you know, a couple other guys back this week, and just trying to play another good game this week. And this is the biggest one of the year for sure.
Absolutely. So here we go. We're going into the last region game.
That's right.
Second from the last regular season game against the Morgan Senators. Winner gets to be second.
The bye.
And they get a bye in the first round. Lee Scott has clinched the region. They'll be the number 1 seed.
Yep.
And they already have a bye. But before we get into all that, talk about, and everybody wants to hear it when you talk about your team, how was your quarterback play this week?
Yep, Dallas, again, another good game for him. Handled everything really well, threw the ball really well. I think we were 13 of 16 through the air. So really efficient there. But one thing I liked about us, you know, offensively this past week, Dusty, is we were balanced. You know, we threw the ball for over 200 yards. We rushed the ball for over 200 yards. I think we had close to 500 yards total offense. But that's what we're striving to do, because, you know, no matter what, if we can throw the ball and run the ball, you know, you can't stop everything. So they kind of gave us some looks at first when we were able to come out and get the ball on the perimeter. Then they kind of tried to, you know, bail back and lay back a little bit, and we was able to run the football. So, you know, really good job by him of handling everything. And then, you know, like I've talked about the last few weeks, is Levi is able to get in there also, and Levi's doing some good things for us too. He took the opening drive of the second half right down and scored. Had a couple good throws there, so he's getting better too. So just overall, happy with us offensively. But really the most important thing for me to see is the growth of our offensive line. We are getting better every single week. And, you know, I talked to the team yesterday on both sides of the ball. Offense, if we can come out and dominate line of scrimmage, we can be in every game we play. And that's what I'm striving. We're getting better on both sides of the ball. But like I said, Ben, with him out there, he brings that toughness, that nastiness to us. And we started to finish some guys the other night. So very, very happy with that.
I guess one thing you can look at from a standpoint of a coach being out early in the season is you got somebody else in there to play, to have them ready to fill in for somebody.
Well,
is most of your linemen interchangeable?
To an extent, yes. And, you know, we always teach all of our offensive line, they got to play 2 positions with injuries. You know that. But, you know, with Ben coming back, a lot of people understand it gives us a lot more flexibility, because Ryan had to go out there and play right tackle for us, and he done a wonderful job. But now we can take a guy like Wes, who is playing guard for us. Now we can take him and put him on defense and play him at nose, and now it gives a lot more depth up front on defense. So it just makes our football team a lot better, obviously, when you got a little bit more depth. But when you get a player back like Ben, you know, he's a really good player. Been a good player around here for a long time. So when you get him back, he just helps your football team.
Mr. Nasty coming back.
So I'm telling you,
he's tough.
He played really well, and he had a little cramp going on there in the second quarter just because of fatigue a little bit. He hadn't played, but we're going to get that worked out, and just, just having him as a team leader, a senior. Everybody around the building respects him. So again, just brought a lot to us. And then, good to have JT back too. He had some good runs. And then him and Aaron both. Aaron was right at, I think, 100 yards rushing also. So kind of that 1-2 punch. When JT went out, we was able to get Aaron back there and get him comfortable. And it's kind of what I've wanted all along. I like to have that 1-2 punch at running back. You got kind of JT more of your more physical bruising type guy.
Right.
With
the
Aaron.
tank.
Yeah, and as you call him, the tank.
The tank.
And, he can just lean on people. Then you got Aaron come in, shifty, quick feet guy that can make people miss. So kind of gives us, that two-headed monster that I really like, having that I've had in the past with some other teams.
Going into break right here, our first break, let's talk a little bit about this that you've had to deal with coming from the programs that you've been with. And I may have asked you this before. I don't know. I can't remember if I did or not. How has it been for you to not have the big depth chart that you've had at other programs compared to, our school, which is not the biggest in the world?
But, we're striving to create depth every single day. Like I've told you before, we got the numbers kind of where we want them from having 60 guys on the roster. So hopefully that'll grow next year. I wish it could be that more, 70.
Right.
That's what we strive to do. But I think by the way we practice every day, Dusty, we try to create depth by the way we practice. So, and we're not scared to play guys. We're not scared for guys to go out there and either prove they can or can't do it. So at the end of the day, I tell everybody, I learned this a long time ago, coaching. The only way to create depth is you got to get out there and play and get those kids experience. And then some guys you got that are going to go out there and say, wow, he done a really good job for us. Then you got some guys say, okay, well, we got to coach him up and keep him going in the right direction. So, but yes, it is different. Ain't no doubt. So, but you gotta, one thing I have also learned too is you got to be able to have these kids playing both ways. And sometimes that's where your depth's got to come from. And, at times we've had that, throughout our football team where y'all seen a lot of guys that are on defense that if they had to, they could go play offense. And same thing with our offense, go play defense. Luckily, we just haven't had to do that yet.
Well, that's why you got coaching staff. You coach them up.
Yep, so there ain't no doubt about that.
All right, we're coming back right after this. You're watching the Glenwood Football Review with Coach Ryan Nelson. We'll be back right after this.
What is community? Is it a neighborhood? The businesses and homes inside it? Maybe community isn't just a place. Maybe it's a state of mind that when we care together, cheer together, we're closer to what really counts. At Beam, we're finding new ways to bring us all closer. And you'll find us right out there with you, because community is always on our mind. Beam, bringing East Alabama more.
Mike and Ed's Barbecue. It's the place where you can come in and pig out with us on the best barbecue in the South. We've been serving the most delicious barbecue and home cooking favorites in the Southeast since 1985. We're open 6 days a week for carry-out, online orders, or just dine-in. Call us for catering. We love to serve at gatherings and parties. So come on in and enjoy some good Southern hospitality and the best barbecue around. Mike and Ed's Barbecue, Phoenix City. Locally owned and operated since 1985.
Welcome back to the Glenwood Football Review with Coach Ryan Nelson. We're being joined by the Glenwood Athletic Director, Mr. Tim Fanning. And Coach, glad to have you. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, appreciate it. Beautiful day out there.
Absolutely. Coach, before we get into talking about the whole athletic department and how long you've been here and where we've gone and where we're coming from and everything, talk a little bit about Ryan and what he's done so far for our school and the football program.
Well, I tell you what, the energy has been phenomenal in the football program since day one. Hit the ground running. Never stop asking for stuff, which that's okay too. No, I'm just kidding. But no, what's been so impressive really is just the professionalism and being on top of everything, and really wanting to create an atmosphere for these kids to want to play. And you could see that developing over the summer with kids just all of a sudden, really good athletes in the school coming out for football, and that's something that was needed. And I'm super proud of them for that. I'm proud of our football program because it's not always measured on wins and losses to begin with, but I think you can start to see the momentum that they're starting to gather as the season has gone on. So I'm just super proud that the coaching staff has been amazing. They all work extremely well together, and that starts at the top and works its way down. So we're super excited about the direction of our football program.
Let's go back a minute what you just talked about, because of course you and I are in the press box on Friday night and we see the excitement and the energy in the stadium. Talk a little bit about some of the different things that he's done on Friday. Yeah, Friday nights at home.
No, it is.
Awesome.
I mean, it is. The atmosphere has been electric. You know, and the
Just
one thing,
by doing a few little things,
right?
You know?
Well, and
Not
the thing
to interrupt
is,
you, but
and the thing is, though, is the one beautiful thing about Glenwood is it's always supported their sports. Like this community, it's going to be packed here. So, with Ryan's philosophy and the coach's philosophy, like bringing that energy from the crowd onto the field and vice versa, it's just been amazing. With the Gator Walk, it's been, probably the first thing that everyone noticed and really liked is really showcasing our football players and then having them interact with our fans. And
Awesome.
that really has been something that everyone has talked about. And I think the kids love it too.
They do.
Mm-hmm. And when kids work extremely hard at something and to give them that kind of energy and that reward, I think is special. And it's something that the kids will never forget either.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're sitting here. It's football season. We got a chance to talk about this from an athletic standpoint, athletic director standpoint, and our school standpoint. How big of it is to host a playoff game?
I would say anytime that you can stay in the swamp as long as possible, I mean, you're going to love it. It's not just, people will say, oh man, we get another home gate or whatever. That's not really it. It's just really rewarding these young men and these cheerleaders and these fans for a great season, and being able to showcase that, and the Gator Nation, man, it's no joke. I mean, we go on the road and we have more fans than the home team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for them to not have to do that and to be able to pack this place out and just that energy is it's why you play football on Friday nights. So it'll be fantastic to showcase that, and it would be if we can win this week, it'll be state semifinals going into a state championship. You know what I mean? So. That's pretty special.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, talk about how long you been here now?
This is my 24th year. 24
years. How many as the athletic director?
20.
How many as the head baseball coach?
20.
He's been here a long time, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about where our athletic department is now and from when you started to now.
Well,
how many sports do we have?
Well, we have 14 sports, and
Go ahead,
and those are things that over the years we've added women's and boys and girls soccer,
right,
and volleyball. Those have been 3 additions that have been phenomenal to our athletic program. But it's just we have always had a very cohesive and comprehensive athletic program. And one thing I always like to say, we have a 7A program but a 1A staff. You know what I mean? And it's difficult at times, but with the help of our community and outstanding community coaches that we have and help from parents and things like that, we're able to provide more for our kids than most schools of our size.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this year, in particular, started out, great. I mean, it started with cheer winning the state championship, volleyball, stomping people every week, and Coach Strength does a phenomenal job with volleyball, and they got it blowing and going there, and then that just ties in with the football. I mean, we got 41 Pee-wee cheerleaders for crying out loud. You know what I mean? And
our cross-country team just did well
at the state meet.
Right.
The girls finished second in the state in that.
Right.
And, but that's the thing about the fall is it's not just our varsity program. It's the Pee-wee program.
Right.
Football players and cheerleaders, and then JV cheerleaders and football, JV guys. So every one of those things have done well all fall, and kind of the saying is, if you have a good football season, it just catapults you to the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
And
I always said that.
And so it's really cool to see our athletic department is strong. Not because just we have great players, we have great coaches and great parents.
We're gonna pick on Ryan for a minute, Coach. You were the head football coach for 2 years here. You were.
I was.
Yeah, hold on. We're gonna pick on
You
Ryan
sure
a
it
little
was
bit.
two? Maybe it's one.
No, because I was part of that staff.
Yeah.
How many coaches did you have on that staff, Coach?
Four, maybe?
Correct.
4.
How many's Ryan got, Coach? 13?
A lot.
Absolutely. I'm just saying how far we've come.
We have.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing at Taylor Road, where they still put down chalk for the line.
And big potholes in the middle of it. Yeah.
Ryan ain't got to play in places like that.
Yeah, we also have more wins on the football program now than we did then, too.
Well, I mean, the athletic director fired himself.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Very smart.
Coach, going into the rest of the year, anything you want to finish with as the athletic director about Glenwood? And, here's your chance to spit it out there to everybody that's watching.
Well, I think people who know Glenwood know what it's about. It's a sweat equity athletic department. It's done with great players, student athletes, great teachers, and great coaches. And then you put on top of that great alumni. It just makes it a special place to be. You can get a great education here. You can have a great opportunity to excel athletically, not just at this level, but at the next level. And I've been very blessed to be here for 24 years. I've raised both of my kids here. But that's something you see all the time. Our teachers, all their kids go here,
Right.
and it's a place that they want to be with their kids and be in a safe Christian environment that allows kids to, foster who the best version of themselves will be.
Right.
So I just love coming to work every day.
Ryan, how has Coach Fanning been for you to lean on and
Just awesome.
be your athletic director?
From day one, and what's crazy is I've kind of been in this community my whole life, and I think I've met Coach Fanning like maybe twice. So it's kind of crazy. We're both in the same profession, but from day one, when I met him, I gravitated to him really quick, and just the knowledge he's got, kind of like being around my dad. Just been around it so long. Not in, like he said, it ain't so much about the wins and losses, but the thing Coach Fanning that I really see is the relationships he has with the kids. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's about, at the end of the day. And I pride, myself on the same thing, but as you see him interact with the players and the students around the school and stuff like that. So any kind of question I've had about it could be good, it could be bad, just lean on him for advice because he's been here and he's done it. But he's been great to me, great to my family, and, super supportive for our football team, and, really just open the doors up and try to give us everything we possibly can have from a program standpoint.
I got you. Well, Coach Fanning, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, man.
And we're glad you could fill in today here as we do game day here at Glenwood. But we'll be back right after this with our last segment, talking to Coach about the Morgan Senators and the game coming up this week. We'll be right back.
Mike and Ed's Barbecue. It's the place where you can come in and pig out with us on the best barbecue in the South. We've been serving the most delicious barbecue and home cooking favorites in the Southeast since 1985. We're open 6 days a week for carry-out, online orders, or just dine-in. Call us for catering. We love to serve at gatherings and parties. So come on in and enjoy some good Southern hospitality and the best barbecue around. Mike and Ed's Barbecue, Phoenix City. Locally owned and operated since 1985.
What is Magnify? Magnify spreads Wi-Fi across your entire home. Pods plug straight into the wall. No messy cables. They spread the internet from your existing modem to every corner of your home at full speed. Magnify doesn't just make your Wi-Fi faster. It intelligently adapts to your environment and manages your Wi-Fi 24/7 based on insights, like the number and types of devices you have connected. Magnify. Worry-free Wi-Fi. Brought to you by Beam.
Welcome back, everybody, here with Coach Ryan Nelson. Coach, just had Coach Fanning on here. Appreciated him being out here. Anytime we can bring somebody else on the show,
Without a doubt.
talk about our program, talk about our school, that's always awesome. But let's go back for a minute. I know you want to talk about this real fast. Talk about some guys that stood out for you from this past week, or has stood out all year on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, first we'll start with our defense. Like I said, I talked about Tripp a little, earlier. But one thing, and I talked about our defense, these guys came out the other night, and I don't understand off the top of my head, but I think we held them with the first team defense for less than 50 yards in the first half.
Wow. This is a Tonga, Coach.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And
wow.
So we
That's
played really
awesome.
well, created another turnover right there. But just a guy like Lane Griggs, who I think for the last 2, maybe 3 weeks is just playing really good ball. Lamont, Burton inside. Again, we talked about Tripp, but then, we get Tripp back and we're able to move Owen Koger kind of inside, and then Samaje out, he's still playing the end. Both of their games, ever since the bye week and we've come back, they've played exceptional football for us. And, Owen was out a little bit with, some sickness, so he did miss a game, but he's been playing really well. Then you got guys on the perimeter. Camden White, his games, took it to a whole different level, and Pierce Edwards has, been playing exceptional football for us.
Absolutely. He's really excited about football right now.
And he really is. And he played another good game the other night, and then we got Wyatt back, Tharp. He had a little injury the week before against Monroe that held him out, so we was able to get him back moving around. And then, Denton Denny's been playing good ball for us too. He was, probably an inch away from having another interception the other night. So, more on him than anything where he dropped it. But, and he'll be the first one to tell you he's got to make that play. But I'm just happy where our defense is going. And, another guy I didn't mention that, with Porterfield being out with his injury is Chance Coleman. Has got healthy. He came back kind of against Valiant and played on offense, but we've had to put him back on defense, and he's actually moving around. With his foot issue a little bit better than I thought he would. So he's another guy that's been in there playing really good ball for us. So just really happy, like I said, where our defense is going and where they've been headed for the past 3 or 4 weeks. But the big thing I see, Dusty, is we're tackling better.
Yeah.
We're running to the ball, we're getting to the ball.
Well, I know there was a week or two ago where you told me it was one of those weeks y'all spent about 45 minutes on tackling.
It was after the Brookstone game.
Oh, was it that far back?
So,
okay.
It was back way back then, and it was, and that's kind of the first 2 ball games. It kind of hurt us a lot.
Yeah.
We were there to make the plays, and as a coach, that's all you want to do is put them in position. But we got to make the plays.
Right.
So we kind of had to go. And again, like I told you, of all the guys I just named, I don't know of, off the top of my head, maybe 2 of those guys started for us last year.
Right.
So it was a brand new group together, and people don't understand when you play team ball, it takes time for your team to understand each other, kind of understand what you're thinking out there.
November's when you want that to come together.
Yep, and so that's what I've been preaching since day one to our football team, to everybody around here, is if we can just be headed in the right direction now. And I think our best football's still ahead of us. And
for some people that watch this every week, some know, some don't. Where are we at with the crazy man? Is he, how's his shoulder?
Tyler?
Yeah.
You ain't got to call him crazy. I call it passion.
Absolutely, it is. You're exactly right. He loves the game.
Yes, and he got injured against Valiant Cross, and it was a shoulder deal.
Yeah.
But, we're hoping to get him back soon. Good. So it's not season ending, so hopefully we'll see him sooner than later.
Awesome.
And if we can get him back, and then we can kind of stay healthy from that, I think we got about 95%.
We'll take care of business this week, so we get that 1 week off.
Well, that'd be nice.
Be ready to play for the second round.
That'd be nice.
All right, we're going to Selma.
Yep.
Morgan Academy 5-3, 4-2 in the region. Pretty much this game is for second.
This is it. There's no other way. And really, Dusty, I didn't make this known a whole lot last week, but it really didn't matter what happened last week. This is the game. We could have lost last week, still be 4-2 in the region, but it all comes down to this game, because whoever wins this game is going to have the tiebreaker over the other one.
Gotcha.
So if we lose, we're both 5-2.
Tell us what you know about
them. At the end of the day, offensively, a quarterback can throw the ball, pretty well. They got probably if not but one of the best receivers in our region.
Oh wow.
The Ryan Williams kid. He's 6'3", 175 pounds. He can really go up and get it. So he's a good player. They got another number 6 that's a really good player that they'll line up at quarterback and kind of do some wildcat stuff with. So offensively, they do some things that can hurt you. They get in a lot of formations, do a lot of different stuff. So we're going to have to be really sound defensively and really prepare. And then defensively, I've been watching film on them since Saturday morning. I got up here early Saturday morning because I know it's just that type of game.
Right.
We and make no amends about it. We got to go win, and that's what we're appreciate the kids. But they're a pressure defense. They're going to bring pressure all night. They're going to try to force you to do some things you don't want to do. And they're going to play a lot of man coverage, a lot of zero coverage. So at the end of the day, I don't see them changing. I don't know why they would change. They've been successful, so we got to have answers for what they're doing on both sides of the ball.
I got you. So, expecting a really good. You got to travel. It's probably your longest trip
it is,
of the
but
year.
I'm so thankful that we've been to Montgomery and Prattville, because now we're only talking about 45 miles outside of Montgomery.
Right.
And I think this will be the 3rd time in 4 weeks we've been on a long road trip. So the kids are getting more accustomed. They were a lot more accustomed to the routine last week when we went, and we'll eat at the same place this week as we did in the last 2 weeks in Montgomery. And then we'll get back on the bus and we'll travel to Selma and we'll dress there and all that kind of good stuff. So it ain't foreign to us, but at the end of the day, you know, I talked to the kids yesterday when they was in Sunday and this morning before we worked out. This is not about anything, making excuses or anything. We got to go play our best football at 8 o'clock. And, you know, this is what we've been talking about since we got back from Lee Scott. Everybody was dejected in the locker room when we got home, and I had a team meeting right there when we got back. I said, guys, if we'll just come in here and work, okay, y'all can't see it now, but in 5 weeks we'll be playing Morgan for a chance to be in this game. And, you know, they've done exactly what we, as a coach staff, has asked them to do each and every week. We've came to work, and, you know, it seems so long ago when we had to beat Valiant, then we had to beat Monroe, then we had to beat Autauga. It seemed so long ago that we'd be here, but I knew if we would just come out and get better each week that we'd have a chance, and now it's here. Now you got to go play.
That's right.
You just got to go play, and, you know, I tell our kids, I mean, we're not coming in there to try to lay back. You got to be aggressive, and you got to go win the ball game. You can't, when you go on the road, you can't allow them to just think they're going to hand it to it. So we're going to come out and try to play our style of football, play fast, play aggressive, and, you know, see if we can take it to them.
Well, good luck this week.
I appreciate it.
I know it's going to be, you'll have them ready. I know you got some practices coming up the next couple of days, and you'll have them ready, some walkthroughs, and we wish you nothing but the luck this week. We'll come back next week, we better have a win.
Well, that's the goal, and most importantly, you know, just to be 6-1 in the region, and, you know, kind of like Coach Fannin was saying is, you know, you get that semifinal game at home in Phoenix City, the atmosphere, you're going to get people out of the game. And that's why I tell our kids, it's tough to come to Phoenix City and beat us. And that's the atmosphere we're trying to create every time we line up at home. Is we want them to be uncomfortable when they come in here. So, and we want our fans and our players to have fun and do all that kind of good stuff. So, but again, we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves at all. We just got to go out and play a clean football game on the road and eliminate the penalties. And you know, but most importantly, we got to get to work this week. Starting today, and actually started yesterday and this morning. So, but our guys, you know, like I said, they've been relentless here over the past about month, and you know, we've got better. And like I said, I still think our best football's ahead of us.
That's awesome.
So,
well, thank you, Coach Nelson.
I appreciate it.
All right, the Glenwood Football Review you're watching right here with Coach Ryan Nelson. We appreciate you joining us today from this great atmosphere of beautiful weather, this dusty Purdue. We'll see you next time, and go Gators.
Go Gators.